What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This week we are getting ready to go testing on Thursday again. Some more hot weather testing. Obviously last time we didn't get as many laps as we wanted, so we are making cooler changes, front bumper aero changes, suspension changes, and I think that's it. I say that's it like it's easy, but we got a lot of work to do. So right now I'm over here, I'm doing a full spring change on the car all the way around. Kind of show you guys how we do that, just to make it easy, especially if most guys are in the same situation we are, just in a garage, so you got to utilize the tools the best you can. So we'll show that. I just changed out the spring on the passenger side front. Obviously we run the BC coilovers, makes it real easy to change the springs. So I'm about to change the spring on the other side, and then I'm going to do the rears, and I don't know what else I'm going to get into today, but hang out, let me show you how it's done. So for a spring change, doing it in our garage when we're not over at Southwest Bimmers or something like that, where we have access to a few more tools. We utilize some very basic stuff here, just a basic floor jack, piece of wood just to support the coilover, so we can raise and lower it so we can get the coil out without the whole bearing assembly dropping down and snapping the brake lines. At least that's the idea. So we're getting ready to change this one out from a 14K to a 16K. I'm gonna go to this other little guy here, make it a little bit stiffer for us, and that's what we got going on. Obviously our AP brakes, these things are awesome, they're monsters. I made some brake ducting for those earlier this week, which are over here, thanks to Cassidy over at General Fabrication. So we got we're using the stock backing plates, just with some 3-inch inlets. So hopefully we can get a little bit cooler brake temperatures out of the car. We've never really had a problem on this car. We just consume brake pads pretty quickly, just because of the weight of the car. So hopefully we can combat some of that by getting some cooler air to it. So obviously you see I'm sweating my ass off. It's hot in here. So let's get to work. There you have it. That's how quick it is to change a set of springs. It's really not that difficult. I'll take you through exactly what I do here. So pretty simple. Once you get the jack underneath the hub assembly here and jack it up, you release your top bolts. Okay, so the 5 that go around the outside. Usually this has a big cross member on it. For those of you guys that run the M4s and the M3s, you guys know about that. So you take the cross member off, which goes across these 3, and then you have these 5 bolts that actually hold the coilover on. Then from there, you loosen up the lock bolt that actually holds it in the hub, and obviously your bolt for your sway bar, and drop the whole thing out. Take the lock nut off the top. This nut right here, take that nut off, and then you can pull the whole camber plate off the top and change out the spring. And the reason why you guys want to adjust it from the top is that if you adjust it from the top, it doesn't change any of your camber settings. So you can adjust the spring rate without having to redo your settings. So it's kind of cool. So that's a front spring change. So both of those are done. I'm gonna move to the rear. So I'm getting ready to do the rears on the car. These are a little bit more difficult because you actually have to drop them down out of the chassis before you can make any adjustments. So one of the first things that I like to do, other than hit my fucking head, which I did it already, I hate it. One of the first things I like to do is go in and make sure your lock rings are loose, because once you get this thing out, it's going to be really difficult unless you have some sort of device to hold the coilover. But get your lock rings loose. Once I get my lock rings loose, I tighten them back up just to finger tight, and I mark the area that they came from. So I'll actually physically mark on the coilover roughly where the adjustment was, so that way when we put it back down, it's relatively close. So like I said, we got to drop it up out of the chassis. We're going to pull it out, and then we'll undo the bottom and pull the coilover out and put the new one in. So here we go. Alright, so let me show you what I did real quick here. So I got the coilover in, got everything readjusted tight, new spring in. One of the things that I recommend is that you guys actually keep your lock rings loose. If you're going to change springs, most likely you're going to corner balance. So if you go back through and tighten these things back up, it's going to be real difficult to adjust them later. So just leave them loose. That way you can spin them, you can make all your corner balance adjustments, and always go back through and nut and bolt. But there you go, that's a coilover changeover. One of the cool things that that everybody liked last year from the 25, we made a suspension cart essentially that houses all of our spare sets of suspension. Some of you guys got a chance to see this last year, but this is something we came up with to hold all of our spare sets. So we essentially run with 3 sets of race ready coilovers We can pre-adjust them in this mechanism here just to make sure that they're all right. We carry extra spares of SPL links, all front and rear, so that way we can change everything out on the fly. More adjustment knobs and things like that, longer ones which we run in the rear. We do typically run the Swift springs. We run the BC springs just through testing, just to make sure that we're going in the right direction. But this is essentially our spare setup cart. So pretty sweet to be able to just roll this out and make pretty much whatever changes we need to make on the fly before we actually put them in the car. So pretty cool. Well, that's it. Just finished up the spring change on the car all around. This one was a pain in the ass, but got it done. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. But all 4 springs now are changed. So we're gonna get ready for corner balancing and finishing up the coolers. Here's the other spring. Finishing up the coolers and then getting ready to go testing again this week out at Spring Mountain. So gonna have lots of videos coming to you guys this week, so stay tuned. Of course, if you guys ever have any questions about the car or anything, or you want to know what we're doing or how we're doing it, a lot of the stuff we're doing right now, we don't know if it's going to work, but we're just going to keep trying until we figure it out. Got a lot of cool stuff from CSF this week. They sent me out a bunch of different coolers to try. Not that what we had in there wasn't sufficient. It's just that we're now removing the auxiliary coolers that used to go here and on the other side, and we're just focusing off running off the main air box. So we're redesigning all of that. You guys will see some changes on the front end. We're actually going back to the stock intakes, so that way we free up this entire area for cooling. So that's what we're doing. As you can see, I'm sweating like crazy. I'm done for the day. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned this week. We'll have some more videos. See ya.